Hello and welcome to the Low Budget Review Show. I'm your host Eric Smith, and today I'm talking about Darkness Rising by Brian Moreland. This is from Sam Hain Publishing and it comes out September 1st. It's a novella, only available in digital edition, so I don't have anything to hold up while I'm talking, and I don't know what I'm going to do with my hands during this video, but if you want to see that really cool cover again, just go back to the image at the beginning of the review and check it out. So Darkness Rising stars Marty Weaver. He's a custodian at a college, kind of a loner, a little odd. He's had a few tragedies in his past, and he's been bullied his whole life. He's a poet, and he's got a crush on a student named Jennifer, and he is college age, so it's not creepy in any way. But and he helps Jennifer with her, I guess, English lit class, possibly. Anyway, he helped her out with sonnets and poems and stuff. She calls him Shakespeare. And he's got a huge crush on Jennifer, but of course he's afraid of being rejected. And so he pours his feelings into this journal that he has filled with poems and things, and he'll go out to this lake and he'll read the poems to the lake. So at the beginning of the book, we're introduced to these two characters and see their interactions, and Marty's a little concerned. So he goes out to the lake to read his poems, and there are 3 sadistic killers out there. What are the chances? And they go after Marty, but Marty has a dark side. A very, very dark side, and soon things get crazy. That's all I'm gonna really tell you here in this quick little synopsis. So we'll get into what I thought of the book, and well, I enjoyed it. I do have some other Brian Moreland books, but I haven't had a chance to read them yet, so this is the first of his that I've read. And his writing style is fine. It's very clean and crisp for the most part. There are a couple of little things. Some of the dialogue to me was a little too exposition-y, I guess. You know, I know sometimes a writer just has to find a way to get information across to the reader, but it always strikes me as false when characters say things to somebody that somebody should already know. And it's not a huge thing here. There's just a couple of lines of dialogue where it seemed to me it was obvious that it was for the benefit of the reader and not for the benefit of the person being spoken to. But that's just a little thing. There is one scene involving a skateboard that wasn't really clear to me. If you're like me, when you're reading, you're picturing everything in your head. It's like a little movie in there. And this scene, there's just a couple of aspects that weren't really clear. I thought I had it, and then it continues on, and I was like, well, wait, now maybe I didn't have it, because this seems to not make sense with what I thought was going on. Maybe it's just me, but that scene was a little wonky. But that's just a couple of little things. Overall, I really, really enjoy this story. Marty is a great character. You know, he's, as I said, he's been bullied. I'm not going to go into the 2 very big tragedies, or tragic events, horrible events, whatever you want to call them, that happened in his past. I'm not going to go into what they are, but very telling. The first one causes Marty to be put into the foster care system, and then the second one happens while he's in the foster care system. And this is, you know, these obviously inform who he is as an adult now. Jennifer, not a bad character at all. I kind of expected things with her to go one way, but they didn't, which was a nice little surprise. Our sadistic killers are fun characters. I don't know if that's the right word to use. I seem to use that word a lot when I'm talking about horror. And and I suppose some people might think that's not necessarily the right word, but I did like their characters. And they're actually, the very first thing in the story is a little prologue, a very creepy, short, quick scene with a lot of implied violence. That was really good. Really nice little scene. And or there's plenty of overt violence in the story, which of course I always enjoy. So, yeah, great characters. And there's a point where everything kind of gets turned on its head. And this is where things really take off. It's really cool. I don't want to give anything away, as always. But visually, Marty becomes really, really cool. I like the way he's described past this certain point, being so vague in this review here. And there are some what I consider Clive Barker-esque images in the story, just some things that I could easily see having come from the mind of Clive Barker. So kudos to Mr. Moreland for that, because they're really, really bizarre and creepy and weird and scary. So successful in that. Man, as I said, it's just novella. It's, I think, less than 100 pages, so it's a quick read. It's really interesting. It'll keep you going, and it'll keep you not necessarily guessing, but it'll definitely keep you turning the pages, or whatever you do on your reading device, since it's digital only. So we'll get right to the rating. Not my best drawings by a long shot. They're pretty simple, but I give Darkness Rising 4 out of 5 love poems. Yeah, that's pretty crappy drawing. I do have my little quill here for writing love poems. But 4 out of 5. Really good characters, good story. Few things that for me were a little wonky. But fortunately they're few and far between. Doesn't take away from a really compelling story. Great characters. And trust me, I think if you're a horror fan, you're really going to dig what Brian Moreland does. And I think that's all I have for this one. It's a short story, so it's a short review. It's creepy. Great characters. I think that covers it. I don't have a lot of notes over here. So there you have it, my review of Darkness Rising. And again, it's odd not having a book to hold up. You know, I don't hate reading digital stuff, but I do prefer a physical copy of a book, especially when it's got such a great cover. I like to be able to look at it, have it on the shelf. So anyway, I say pick this up. I will, as always, have links in the description below for Sam Hain for Amazon, so you can get this story. And if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. So if anybody wants to know about any of the vagaries that I'm hinting at and stumbling over, just ask me in the comments. I'd be happy to share. Please like, share, and subscribe. And that's it for this episode of Low Budget Review Show. Until next time, read more books.